But talk a little
Specifically,
bit
are
about
you
what you guys
asking?
would see. I am specifically asking sort of an educational. We've talked about this a bunch in terms of where the heart. Actually, you know what? We've talked about this a bunch. How about Hibernal? In terms of what you would think some advantageous spots are to look for, maybe in your scouting, or some hard points to hold. Maybe some various ways to various pathing that y'all might use in various situations. I mean, it's a broad list, but that might give you a start.
All right, so I'll just start with Team 1. I think a common strategy for this map is just to NSR. There's a couple of good paths you can take. So from Team 1, you can always do the path where you kind of follow this ridge and you come in. And by doing that, you're shielded from this side of the map, right? So by doing that, you can kill these mechs here, and you can kill this mech here, and then you can encapsulate in. The other route that you can kind of do is you can go over theta, and you can put your bigs on the inside of this curve, which means that you kind of don't get shot from this side here, and you can focus on killing this stuff. I've seen some teams kind of go out far wide towards Kappa with a push, and the problem with that is when you initially set up to play a match, you're going to be the first most important thing of every drop is what? To push the override button, okay? What's the second most important thing? Check to make sure you don't have a heat bug. Okay, third most important thing, scouting. So when you're playing against any team, you're going to want to scout, and the places that you're going to want to be scouting is what's over here from Team 1's perspective. What's here? Is there something there? Is there a mech there? Is this trench here clear, or are there mechs pushing on it? You know, what's going on around theta? And let's say as the map progresses and you get a mech here and you get a mech here and you're scouting and you see nothing. Nothing is seen.
Panic.
There's nothing over here. There's nothing here. There's nothing over here. You can basically deduce that this area here is got a lot of mechs. So it just kind of comes down to deductive reasoning based on what you scout, that okay, there is likely a very big push that's going like this, and they're going to come up behind us. So it's just a matter of scouting and really just reacting to what you see, instead of having a super rigid plan of we're just going to go here and hold this and shoot. Because I mean, you kind of want to have like a general plan for every map, but you still need to be flexible enough to realize what the enemy team's doing and then adjust accordingly. I think the most common play style for this map, if you're playing standard, is probably you put a mech up here for Team 2, you put like 1 or 2 mechs here, you put a mech there, and then you have a wolf pack or something like that that will roll around. Like that's kind of like your standard like trade-ish, in my opinion. From Team 1 side, I'll use green. Normally you'll put a mech there, a mech here, maybe another Pop-Tart there, or like a Crusader. And then you can have your, what's it called? Another trade over there. And then, you know, you have your wolf pack kind of floating around. So it's kind of like a standard setup for Hibernal. I think what a lot of teams aren't necessarily playing on this side of the map. And the reason is, in my opinion, is there's a lot of, again, I might just be completely talking on my butt here, but there's a lot of cover here, right? Like a lot of cover, a lot of hills and whatnot. So it's hard to get overwatch from your assault mechs that are, let's say, setting up here, setting up here, setting up there. Even from the other side, your assaults are set up there. You're not going to have any overwatch in this general area. You're basically on your own. So it's risky, in the sense that if you send one light there, that light has to be exceptionally cautious, because if it gets into a fight, it's by itself. So I think that's why a lot of teams tend to be a little bit more cautious around that area. You can put like a Pop-Tart mech like up here, or even like maybe like here-ish kind of, or back here, and you can kind of assist, but it's not like you're gonna have a lot of tonnage over there. The only exception would be is if you moved your entire team around that way, but that I don't feel is super common to try and go for a Kappa Theta home cap play. I feel like most teams try to go for home cap Theta Epsi, and then they'll maybe come in and squirrel around Kappa. But I think the primary fights on this map are always going to be Epsi and Theta. If you want to take a peek at, let's see, I could do a different map.
Yeah, we're just don't need a whole lot of time here. Just trying to get both in for the map selection at this point. So,
and this is Emmy versus
MEV Abens. Yep.
Okay. I think personally that this is going to be like the closest match of the day, in my opinion. I think there's a chance that Emmy can win, but they're going to have to be playing at 200%. Genuinely, they're going to have to be playing their asses off to win this. They can win. Abens also, sometimes they do questionable things. People fall off the platforms. People get greedy and push in, whatever. And if Emmy's playing on their A game and Abens maybe makes a mistake, I think they really could take a couple drops off them. They could win. I think if both teams are playing perfectly, it should go in Abens' favor if both teams are playing perfectly. But it's not like Emmy can't win. Emmy definitely could win this.
Yep, they've got a lot of good players. They've curated a bunch, but Aben's some of the top in the game, so it'll be definitely an interesting match to see where he sets up. All right, just looking for the OK for Bowser. I'm going to switch us over to the map selection screen here.
1 second.
Yeah.
Don't jump. You have some more stuff.
All right.
Okay, my delay is working good.
Excellent. Yeah, levels getting things up midstream here. We're going to begin the map selection process.
Yeah, we are good.
All right.
Oh, buddy. Your daddy's got something important to do. Go play.
So, do you have any while we're looking at maps? Do you have any insight on map selection strategies? Because that is an angle that I had not necessarily considered.
100%.
I know Tios mentioned some stuff last time.
I gotta turn level down. Hold on a second.
Yep.
Okay. There 100% is some serious strategy that goes into map selection. And I think it's something that all team captains really need to consider. What are our team's strengths and weaknesses? Not only that, but what are the other team's strengths and weaknesses? What does the other team prefer? I'll use DSC for example because it significantly affected our pick rate. We knew that they preferred to play on Hibernal Team 1. We knew that they preferred to play on Mining. They preferred to play Team 1 on Mining. So the maps that we picked was more or less what maps do we care about the side that we're on. Because you remember, if you pick a map, you do not get to choose the side. So it depends on, like for Vitric's kind of a more androgynous map. It's there are differences for the sides, but it's not as massive as, say, Crimson Strait. Crimson Strait has some pretty significant differences between the sides and the play styles that you can even attempt to bring on that map. So Mining, kind of similar. There are different play styles for either side of Mining. So a team needs to go in and say, what does the other team prefer? What do I prefer? What's my team's strengths? What's the other team's strengths? And then formulate a pick rate. Okay, we're going to pick this map first and this map second. And then, depending if you're team 1 or not, we pick this map third. So in that instance, I would say Team 2 kind of has an advantage because they get to choose their side on 3 maps. But Team 1 gets to pick the order of the basically 2 of the first 3 maps to get played. So if Team 1 is stronger and they're basically guaranteeing they're picking the first 2 maps, you just have to be mindful of that. Like if you know your team's really strong at something and you want to end a match quick, you don't want to string it out. Okay, we can pick the 2 maps where we think we can win the quickest. Some teams will prefer to play smaller maps because they don't want to give a team time to string out a match, for example. I think there's quite a bit of strategy involved with map picking. And I'm looking forward to seeing what maps Abins prefer, or what.
Yeah,
maps
so
ME
we're
prefers.
looking at that right now. So it looks like Abins is Team 2 for everything except for Crimson Straight. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get some stuff going here. Our first map is going to be Hibernal. I know we just had you talk a whole bunch about. I'll send you over to the map room for right now, so we have something to look at. But if you want to talk about
I can
now that we have teams,
yeah. So depending on, oh, they already did the picks and bans.
Yep, picks and bans are done. Hibernal, Vitric, Crimson, Mining Polar.
What side is Abins on?
Abins is on Team 2 for Hibernal.
Okay, so Abins is going to be on the top. Emmy is who picked Team 2?
That would have been ME, I believe.
So Emmy wanted. Okay, so that makes sense. I feel that Emmy prefers to play on the bottom of the map. Definitely. They like to play with assault mechs. They like to play kind of similar to 5J in the sense that they have some really good assault players and they will use them. So you're always going to see like Carbon, Bucks, Unfearing in traders, and they're going to be set up in various positions to really capitalize on their trading potential. It wouldn't surprise me to see traders there, see traders there, to see traders there, kind of in your standard trade positions, and then for them to just sort of have like a rotating wolf pack, or even like some snubs or PPCs. It just depends if you want your wolf pack more aggressive, like more small lasers, or more skirmishy. And when I say that, the difference would be, are you bringing a fire starter with small lasers? Or are you bringing a fire starter with light PPCs and small lasers? Small pulse or small lasers. So if you're going more skirmishy, you have less of a chance of repelling a push, for example. Or if they have a stronger wolf pack, you might lose that wolf pack fight. However, if you take the more skirmishy light pack, your trader's going to have an easier time because you're going to be chipping. It's not a lot of damage to light PPCs, but you're going to be chipping on those assault mechs, and you get that damage indicator pops up, and it causes you to turn and look. You lose focus for a moment. Those ME traders are going to be able to do more damage. Abins being Team 2, Abins is a bit more of a fluid team. I would not say Abins is very static. I would imagine they're going to be floating around. They would still probably have traders set up, but we'll see what they do. Abins has also brought Lerms on this map. I want to say they brought Lerms in Worlds last year. Not last year. What was it? Maybe it was Mining. It's very not Mining, Canyon, but they brought Lerms on this map. I wouldn't be surprised if they did something weird and brought Lerms.
That would be quite the power move for the first match. I mean, you said something like that might set a team off kilter. I will say ME, I was able to sit on a couple of scrims for them. They're also turning out to be a very dynamic team as well in terms of sitting up and moving and keeping things scrappy. So I'm interested to see how they're going to play against Abins, who is also a very mobile, very dynamic team as well, and where those moves and counter moves and who runs out of thought process faster, I think might come into, at least on Hibernal. It'll be interesting. Oh, let me see. Where are we at time? All right, yeah. So our timer has started exactly on time. Well done to those teams for getting through the map ban process.
Team one's already
and getting
locked.
everything going. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Perfect. As I'm watching the countdown to give them their 2-minute warning. Perfect. All right, and then we're set on team 2. Yeah. So I'll be interested to see how this goes now. In I forget who. I think it was EQ that was setting up on some of the outside wall strats here for receives almost all throughout the invitationals. I don't know if Evans is going to take that up, but I'm always curious to see, who's watching and who's adapting to what they're doing. I don't think Evans would necessarily need it. I don't think ME is going to do it. They're going to be much more forward focused, I guess, as it would than that stationary receive. But
yeah, I don't
weird
know.
oddball
I
strat.
don't think that they would. I think setting up on the corners of the map with spots that are out of bounds but don't quite triggers out of bounds is kind of lame and boring.
Yep.
It's kind of cheesy. I don't really like it personally. I think it's unsportsmanlike, but it exists so they can do that. I don't think that these teams would do that. They're not that type of team. So.
Yep. I would agree. So let's see. What else can we do for 5 minutes? Level, how you doing? Welcome. I know you haven't had a chance to say too much, but here we are.
Oh, dude.
What are your thoughts?
I woke up from a nap, not gonna lie. Midday nap. It's mid-October. It's Saturday. I'm a grown man. I can nap in the middle of the day. But I woke up and it was so chilly out compared to this morning. This morning there's like sunshine out. I woke up and it's all gray and crap and cold.
Yeah. It's
So-
chilly like Hibernal Rift.
Ha
Sure.
ha ha ha
Come on
ha.
here. Just to redirect some attention here as we banter. This is not the comp banter or the weather report, sir.
Oh, hey, wait, it's not. Wait, hold on.
I know your life is comp banter.
Yeah, it really is.
So I guess I guess making some of my thought talking to hi bro, sorry not to cut you off, Level.
No, you're fine.
I just had a thought. Are we looking, do you think, at sort of an over the theta movement from these teams, or are we cycling around the outside and something along the lines of a NASCAR counter NASCAR kind of movement?
I mean, if both teams, I think, will kind of play, they definitely will have a theta presence. Like, Advents is going to have a theta presence. ME will have a theta presence. I don't think they'll push through it. I really don't. Both teams, to me, don't really seem like the NSR let's push type.
Team 2 has locked.
Oh,
so we'll
I
see.
was about to get another team. All right,
Rather
cool.
watch
And
the
with
match, though, so let's go.
yeah, absolutely. Since we are ready to go.
Oh, I got the chills, man. Blech. It's spooky season.
You need a house cloak, Level.
I need one of those like dad robes. You know what I'm talking about? It's like
No, absolutely not. Go tasteful and get just a wool cloak. Best decision you'll ever make. Anyway, we're loading into Hibernal here. All right. Oh, hey, Hibernal is one of those great ones that we can take a look. All right, so I think I'm on Aben's side here. We've got a PPC Shadowcat happening here, a Hunchback, basically a high alpha with 4 ER large, quad binary Stalker, Death Strike with Gauss, medium and large pulse, Corsair here with Gauss ER large, standard. Oh, I'm sorry, that was not a standard flea. Small X pulse and Flamer on the flea. Tios with the PPC Crusader, and off over here is our Mistlinks. We're bringing flamers. Are we bringing flamers? No. Machine guns and heavy smalls and mediums for some variety there. Very interesting build on that for Texan Scrub Lord. What do we got over on the other side there?
Well, in the trader category, we basically just have ER larges, Stalker and Annie with ER larges. We got a Brawl Highlander. And then I believe this Crusader's ER peeps. Yes. And then, your standard wolf pack. Now, they have a Spider 5K, which is running.
He was taking some damage on Theta and pushing off, giving Theta advantage for Theta. Sorry. Mecha Joyers advantage for Theta, that is.
Yes.
Just as a note.
All right, looking here at the start, Abbott's already they have a firing line that extends from Opera House to Kappa, or almost to Kappa.
Yeah, that's full map coverage. Sort of scouting it out, feeling it out. As they will do. You'll see Abins take a large spread early on and then collapse it down. ME seems a little more, as you're pointing out, focused there towards the FC side. Just trying to figure out where the traders are. Keep things a little dynamic. Squishy and the Spider here threatening Theta, but Abins right now with the cap lead, 2-1 at the moment as these tick down, and we continue to trade. Now on Fearing at 81% in that Annie. Let's see if we can find what's going on there. Where are you at? Off here.
Him and Carbon are starting to push forward here on the Epsi side.
Yep.
With the traders, it looks like the team is just waiting for them to get into new positions. Because they're all stacked here on the corner.
Yeah, I think they're waiting for that Overwatch to be in range here. Carbon Fire. Oh, right, that was ER large. Yeah, and here's that push. They've got their Overwatch, and now they're pushing.
Chimera's Mad Cat already
that Overwatch.
severely messed up.
Oh yeah. But
T's
as we see,
open.
Abins. Yep, Abins just holding the other side here, and taking shots. Butts in the Highlander 2C. At 59% here as Abins just sort of closes the noose here. They were just waiting for that Mech Enjoyer's push to wrap around the backside as Bucks goes down. And things continue to scramble up.
Squishy's like going after the Corsair 1v1. Well, it looks like Batchall's there in the fight.
Well,
they did get the Corsair and they're rejoining the fight now.
Yeah, and they need to. Bowser will be next on their chop and block unless they go for Chimera. No, they're going for Chimera. That is the smart thing to do since Chimera is already open CT.
Yeah, there's Tex and Vislinks. Yeah, okay, they got the
Scrub Lord. Yep. Got your target of opportunity here, and Mech Enjoyer is starting to push over the hill. So Avon's trying to close the gap there, get that surround. ME holding on and able to
Avon's
break
been
out
pushed
there
onto
with
the
Kelly
wreck
and Squishy. Yeah, absolutely. Scout Derek pushed down to the Shadowcat.
This is not good. Every team we've seen fight at the wreck has not gone well for them.
Avon's just getting pushed out. They need to move. Salith moving on to Caps, looking to solidify that lead and put some pressure on Mech Enjoyer. So what they've noted here, I bet, is that we have essentially their scrappers here, right? The Spider, the Mistlinks, the Crusaders. They're going to stay in range of their Overwatch, the Stalker and the Annihilator. So Avon's doing the tactical pullout to try to draw him out, and then taking the caps to try to put pressure on Emmy to move out. Emmy countering with a Sigma cap, and it looks like they're getting ready to go over the hill now that their Overwatch is repositioned to something a little more favorable. Teos trading with the Crusader, getting a little hit here. Let's take stock here. Teos almost legged. Scout Derek is legged with one super toasted. Chimera's one touch CT. Bowser here just missing an arm, no big deal. And then Salith with the flea might be missing an arm, but otherwise not too bad. Emmy still pretty fresh with who they have. Kelly in the Shadowcat at 78%, being their most healthy by the numbers. This Viper here missing an arm and some guns and open in the corner. As we just get trade over this central thing, Emmy not willing to push out of bounds of their Overwatch, which is very smart. Avon's using this time to try to get in some trades as they can. Mech Warrior and a whole bunch of numbers with the Stalker. Mech Warrior 414. Gonna expand my vocabulary here by a couple of characters at 71% in that Stalker. Just really getting some trade in here against Carbon Fire. Some Stalker on Stalker violence happening here as Emmy is starting to make a move here towards the Flea and the Shadowcat. Look for some relocation from their Overwatch. Yeah, as we begin to poke this corner here, Carbon Fire finally going down, losing the trades to Mech Warrior 414. Chimera down at 47%, still managing to hang on in that death strike as Emmy rounds the corner with Batchel, Gill, and Hydro. Chimera going down. It is now continues to be in favor of Mech Enjoyers as Mad Cat goes down. Even still has, or I'm sorry, Mech Enjoyer still has that one mech advantage, though it's going to become two as Bowser gets focused down here with Batchel and Squishy. Unfearing going down first, though. Squishy going down first. Bowser holding on. Oh, well, not anymore. Batchel able to close that down. Looks like Salith is legged. So Meckinger is looking to sort of collapse on who's left, and that is going to be Mech 414. Oh, yeah.
So it looks like Batchel legged the fleet and then rejoined the fight here with the Crusader and Mistlinks.
Yep, and that is what he needs to do because they do.
They did manage to get the Crusader. Now it's basically the Stalker versus two really heavily damaged mechs and a Shadow Cat.
No.
Yeah, Gil is legged, so that's going to be super problematic for them. Hydro, Kyle, and Batchel need to be focusing on those caps right now. With a 3-1 advantage in favor of Avens. Now they can do a quick on. Oh nope, there goes Batchel. This is going to end on caps, I think.
Oh no!
There goes Batchel. Batchel goes down. Hydro holding on in that Crusader. Mech 414 getting halved, but pulling it out, and then we've just got Gil with the Mistlinks left. 414 with 3 or 4 kills so far. That's
I want to point out how
rampage.
devastating those quad binary builds are. That Shadow Cat was basically fresh at around like 82%, and then it just died. He just died.
Yeah, we're gonna see
both legs cut out
how Gil goes here. Yeah, Gil with a one-touch leg here, trying to turn Theta. It's not going to be near enough as we come into the 700 territory in favor of Avens. As Avens, as Salith looks to be moving towards Sigma, he's not going to get there. There's not nearly enough time before this ends. So yeah, well done, Avens. Basically, even though they fell back in, Emmy focused a little too much on killing the mechs and trying to push that advantage that they had. They totally ended up neglecting the caps. And on the other side, Avens doing a very good job in making sure that they stayed down for a lot of that as they waited for their slower Overwatch to get in position there. We'll take a look at these damage numbers. 886 by Mech 414. 600 by Unfearing in those Annihilators. So we've got some heavy traders, but Avens just able to focus it down. The numbers are actually pretty similar looking at these. So it's largely, and you know, as we saw, there were only 2 Avens mechs left at the end and very hurt. So well done both teams. Looks like Avens positioning wins out, I think, here. But I'll send that over to Bacon for a more qualified opinion.
Just let me know when you got the map thing up.
Yeah, I got to give folks a couple seconds here to take a look at the scoreboard and we'll get them. All right, and map room is up, so it's all yours.
So I think what Emmy did was really good. They had their assaults do like this wide push on the edge, and then their light pack kind of went like this. That was really good. They killed the mech here, and then they killed the mech here. But the problem is after this push happened, admins basically fell back into this pit and around Theta. At this point, they were up on caps, right? So like something you need to keep in mind the entire match is the caps. The fact that they had a 3 cap for so long was pretty damning, especially the fact that after they killed the volcano mech, this is what happened, okay? You had, I think their assaults were like right here. The Emmy assaults were here, and their wolf pack was kind of all over the place here. At this point, their assaults needed to come up on the spine, and they needed to take the map control they just took and projected it. But instead, again, this is my opinion, it's not a fact, instead, they thought the better play was to put both their assaults on Volcano. I don't really know why they would do that. They basically went from really destroying Abens and having a great push, and then they just kind of dropped the ball on that. There may have been a reason that I don't know. There could have been like maybe both their assaults were one touch, or something. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is that they stalled out. They didn't go for Sigma. They could have went and put a mech here to Sigma. They could have got Epsi, Sigma, Gamma. They could have had a 3 cap if they wanted to play more passive, but I don't think that happened. And basically Selith went and capped around, and Abins just kind of kept them in this. They basically pushed. Emmy basically did an amazing push, and then gave up the advantage they have, and just kind of trapped themselves in one part of the map. So they gave Abins the entirety of the map to do whatever it is that they wanted, to the point that Abins completely rolled around. Again, very mobile team. They completely wrapped around and took Emmy's spawn hill. So they had mechs here. They had mechs here. They had mechs up here. And they completely took a breath, took a breather. Okay, breathe, boom, relax. How are we going to handle this? Encapsulate them. And they pinned them down. It was a very good recovery from Abins, in my opinion, on that. I really strongly thought Emmy was going to win that up until the point that this happened right here. The decision was made to, I don't know why, there was a reason, we don't know, but to go to Volcano with their assaults. One thing I will say is that there is only 2 ramps, I want to say, to get up right here if you don't have jump jets. So you do kind of have to walk, but it is what it is.
Yep. All right, let's move on to Vitric, since we have one team locked at this point. We have some stuff holding over. But I do agree with you. And to throw a little insight, I think that Overwatch move was maybe to support, it was Batchel, and I'm forgetting who the other pilot was over there, but I think it was to sort of solidify that side. But then it takes them so long to come back, it was probably not worth it. But anyway, Vitric.
Honestly, Vitric's kind of a one-dimensional map.
Yep.
I expect that they're going to have assaults set up on either side of their spawns. They're going to have stuff here, 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 here. Light mechs are going to come up, and they're going to be, skirmishing around these areas, or up here and up there. Same for Emmy. I would imagine they're going to do the same thing. They're going to be a little more skirmishing. Unless some team decides they want to do an NSR push or do some weird stuff. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. I like the sound of that. Getting weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, sort of along those lines. And interestingly, I think Emmy, if they have sort of similar movement, they might, it's not going to be an NSR, but I think they're probably going to be the aggressors this match. I think it's going to be up to Avon to receive and adapt. And I mean, when they receive, they'll wrap around just like we saw on Hibernal would be my thought. But I think MB is definitely going to be the aggressors early on, just like we saw previous.
Team 2
and they locked at 2. Yeah. So I think with, as you said, Vitric one-dimensional match. So let's go ahead and launch, since there's not really much else to say.
Teams are ready to go. Let's watch.
Oh.
I'm excited.
All right. I apparently have to keep an eye on my OBS, because the last drop, my Discord popped up for over my OBS. I don't even know how. And so half the batch people stared at my Discord. Yeah, level thing. Hey, you know what? I'm so tired of being I'm tired of being a verb, damn it.
We could make you an what is it? An adjective, I guess, if you want. If we can make the there we go. It's like a little pin there with the sun.
But my OBS says it looks fine. So if there's any issues, I'm blaming Twitch at this point.
Listen, I had my Twitch moment. All right, let's see here. I got Avens on my side here. Right. We've got our Shadow Cat, which I'm sure will be peeps or lasers or something like that. This Phoenix Hawk I want to see, because we had a weird one earlier on. Light peeps on the Phoenix Hawk, getting there fast. Laser Vom, a Shadow Cat. Let's see what else we got. Gauss and Large, Mad Cat, Light PPC Crusader from Bowser there. ER peeps on the XC, and a Mjolnir. Gonna have binaries on that, I bet. Yep, 2 5 mix between binaries and mediums, and I think that's pretty much all that we're going to expect some variation on. So what do we got over here on ME side?
We got a broiler and a Warhammer 2C. Both are Gauss and lasers. They brought that Brawl Highlander 2C again. We'll see how that works out this time. Batchel's in the Shadowcat again. Phoenix Hawk snubs, so's the Crusader. Mislinks is your what you would and the Mislinks is your standard ED or hero Mislinks.
So ME, interestingly, taking a very low ground position here. Granted, it's with the mechs that have the jump jets to get up high really quick, but not a whole lot of top presence here. Avon's straying towards the right side or the north side.
Tios was over here in the south side taking pot shots, but 4 mechs are about to dive him. Can he? Is he going to get out of here alive?
Yeah, it looks like he just got pushed back. He's going to have Salith for some sort of support, but not a whole lot. They need to pull out, even though it's just Batchel and Squishy giving chase here. Tios down to 88%. Batchel kind of holding off, and ME sort of takes this corner if they want it, but it looks like they don't. Those 2 mechs coming back to join the line instead of taking that territory as Avens starts to wrap around towards Kappa, splitting this a little north-south.
Yeah, Avens currently, they're pretty stacked on Chickenfoot.
Yeah, Chickenfoot, in case you're wondering. It kind of looks like a Chickenfoot. And yeah, here we go. They are stacking up. They might be about to take the top, honestly. Looking at these mechs with all with jump jets, they can jump that gap fairly easily. Bowser is on top there countering Bucks, who doesn't really have he needs to fight Bowser or get shot from the other side. Bucks is in a real bind here. Hydro Kyle down below. Let's see what Hydro is seeing down here. Not a whole lot. Looks like trying to counter maybe Lizzie up there in the Executioner.
Carbon Fire did try to do some trades, 1v2 trades, and they did not go well in his favor. His mech, his broiler, is already getting... the damage is pretty spread, but that CT is already getting orange armor.
Yeah,
which could be a problem. Looking at
their position, they're very low ground, ME, and Avens is also on the high ground, so they are covering so much more of the map right now, and able to make those like 2v1, 3v1 trades here as ME just tries to gain some sort of a position. Bucks down to 79%. Looks like something might be a little open there. Let's take a look. Nope, just damage all over the place. Still relatively fresh. All right, so there's an EPSI switch for ME, and that is going to start to, with Avens being concentrated on this side, that's going to start to apply some pressure there. Avens is going to have to react here or get some kills. Time is not their friend at the moment, as the caps will switch over, the cap points will switch over to ME here in the next few seconds. And we got Scrub Lord and Bowser. And also Salith trying to make a move over here towards EPSI, get that back. And that is going to flip that pressure back to ME. ME looks like they've taken Epsilon. I'm going to say Avens has a bit of an armor advantage here. ME losing their trades in a sort of a micro way to some, well, maybe not so much micro, but it's starting to add up basically as Avens starts to take some more of the map as they try to concentrate against those traders on the Chickenfoot.
Now, Avens does have 2 mechs completely out of this fight right now. Bucks is still eating a lot of damage here in center. Being SRMs and LBX-20, his 2 large pulls are all he has to trade with his 95-ton mech.
Yeah, I think he's looking for the push, and they don't really have a spot for him to do that. They're trying to find that positioning and that advantage, but Avens is just really using their cover, using their Pop-Tarts, and sticking together as a team that pushes. It would be devastating, especially, pushing low ground to high ground. That's going to be tough. Scout Derek comes back in the Shadowcat. The rest of their mechs seem to be returning to Avens for a little bit of a concerted effort here. Unfearing in the Warhammer, we haven't really been talking about, down to 67%. He's going to be over here on the Citadel trading over with Gauss and ER large, open from the back, which is interesting. Must have turned around to fall back a little bit, as ME does seem to fall back and condense a bit in.
Now ME has taken cap lead. They finally took cap lead, but Bucks is still bleeding armor. I don't know how much longer he can keep up where he's at, before they just start picking him off. Now, 414 and Tios are starting to do shooting down at the fight on looks like on Hydrokyle.
Yep,
Chimera
and
gets
Chimera
picked.
goes down. First kill to ME. That's actually a significant amount of weapons as Abens takes the top and starts to collapse on ME. ME putting up a fight though. Buck's finally getting to use most of the weapons, but at 47%, maybe not a whole lot of those left.
Now underneath is huge brawls going on. Hydrokyle goes down. Scout Derek and Bowser and Texan are about to get Gil.
Yep. Let's see. We got Mad Cat and Tios fighting over here on the side. Tios open CT and open leg, but Mech 414 in there. Bucks finally goes down. Theta getting flipped. Avon's just doing it while they're there. Avon's very, very hurt. We'll see if some of these fresher mechs are able to close it for ME, but they are also, there's just a lot of weapons still on the field. It's not about armor at this point. It's about the weapons to get rid of it. Batchel really just kind of holding on, making the shots count, putting a good burn into Tios there.
I think they got his leg.
Tios one touch. Yep, there we go. Batchel going down. Those binary lasers from that grasshopper doing some damage. Yep. Lizzie taking out Squishy and their Scrub Lord. All right, so we've just got Unfearing back here with the Warhammer. Let's take a look. Mostly CT on that for that maul. Not enough to cap. So Avens with the cap lead again is gonna switch over here in a couple seconds. Unfearing has the weapons, I think, to kill a lot of these folks, but there's just too many weapons on the field against him, as we see, just getting taken out, just straight CT. It was weak already. Well played by Avens on the second map there for Vitric.
Yeah, GG Avens.
Taking a look at some of those damages, we have 609 or 690 here for Mech 414, a perpetual high damage dealer. 609 for Lizzie and the Executioner. Salith doing a lot of capping and stuff, so understandable double D there. ME damages just a real nice spread overall, but I think it comes down to a lot of that damage was just that. It was spread. A lot of very hurt mechs on the Aben side with, one or two hits to kill. And that's what we're looking for. Gonna throw you some more stats here. Take a look at that, catch a couple of those, and then we'll head over to the map and turn it over to Bacon while we get these guys sorted on the other end. All right, and we're there, Bacon, whenever you're ready.
Cool. So, I mean, it's basically your normal Vitric match. You're going to have people set up. You're going to have people kind of be skirmishy. One thing that Aben said that I thought was kind of interesting is they really kind of focused on skirmishing down here and really pressuring this sort of like side angle, I think they basically were just skirmishing harder than Emmy was skirmishing. I think both teams played that drop pretty well. Just to be honest, I think both teams played really well. I think Abens realized the point in which they were able to basically go from being in this area to slightly wrapping around to basically coming around this corner. And I don't know if a mech dropped on Theta or whatnot, but I couldn't quite see with the angle. But at one point, they fully sent it on Theta and just started cleaning up. They decided, hey, we've skirmished long enough. There's enough mechs open. Let's make a decisive strike. Let's go in and slap them. So that's what they did. They came in. They did a good, clean push near the end, and they just sort of went on cleanup duty. I can't fault either team for really making any mistakes. I didn't see any. I think both teams played to the best ability, and both teams played very well. And it was a good match. Good match to watch.
Now, I'm not sold on the Highlander. Like, I get why they brought it. But only having the 2 LPL felt like it there at the that corner it was trading at, specifically right here.
Is it supposed to be like a Crusader? Like, I don't get it.
I think the idea was they were planning to be more aggressive, but then Avens was all piled up and they couldn't make that push, so he got a little stranded. That's my guess.
Yeah, because he was getting shot at by Lizzie and the well, whatever Pop-Tart over here would shoot him because he was hiding this corner basically the whole match, and then occasionally something would jump up here and hit him in the side. So it bled armor the whole time. But yeah, the LB20 and the SRMs, as you already mentioned, Ivor, it was obviously for a more aggressive like push style, but that it stalled out, and then it just became your classic, as Bacon Lord said, pretty well played for what it was.
Out of curiosity, that was Bucks in there, right? I'm going to head back to the scoreboard real quick. Let's look at damage taken, which we should have here. No, apparently we don't have damage taken on the stats. That's interesting. I wanted to see how much damage he took overall. All right, heading back to map room on my end.
Yeah, this Highlander 2Cs have a lot of armor. He had to at least share his like 600-700 easy.
I would think so. But hey, we're let's hop on over to Crimson. Coming in the middle of our map here. This could be a decider.
Yeah,
if Avens takes another win.
Aben's going for the clean sweep here. It's up to Emmy to turn it back around here, and then they have a chance to take it to victory with drops 4 and 5.
I feel like Abens definitely has a stronger... The side that Abens is on definitely favors their playstyle. The fact that there's no... Honestly, if I was a map designer and I can modify this map, I would make a passageway or a tunnel or something here to connect these sides. One personal thing. Maybe that should be done. I don't know. But the fact that Avens has got Team 1 means they have the option to be more fluid than if they were on Team 2. And I think that favors their playstyle. They're a very fluid team. They'll move around a lot. I expect that Emmy is going to get set up. I mean, they could NSR. You never know. If I say they won't do it, they'll definitely will.
I will say Sun Tzu would be very proud of Avens because they flow like water across the battlefield.
They do. It's honestly the way that they move is really nice. I think Emmy is sort of a close second to that in terms of
there's probably 100 years of combined mech experience on that roster right now.
They have a strong roster, a very strong roster on Avens right now. If you just look at the people playing in that, like that's
some of these people have been playing
very
since
experienced players
for almost a decade or over a decade.
Emmy's definitely doing a good job of cultivating skills and training people, but you can't make up for years of being a top level player.
Yeah, I will say Emmy's climb from not existing a year ago, or a year and a half ago, to where they are now is pretty substantial. I know DSC has also made similar climbs because they got a team into top 12, which has been pretty nice to see. Both teams are locked, by the way.
Yes, both teams are locked. I was going to give us a couple minutes because we didn't really discuss the map, but I mean we touched upon it, so we're good to go. We'll go head on into the match now here, into Crimson straight third and maybe final drop for this matchup. We will see.
I really think it's going to be much like Vitric, where you have a bunch of trading and a bunch of skirmishing, and it comes down to one kind of execution strike at the end.
Yeah.
Something to note before the match starts is that if you didn't notice on Hibernal, Avens was focusing on shooting legs because they knew they had the cap advantage, and all they had to do was leg everything, and they won. So at the point that Shadowcat, or really even if the Shadowcat wasn't leg, they had already won. Don't be surprised if they focus on caps and picking off the capability of Emmys to try and get caps, and they win that way.
Oh, hey, there's like a little radio tower up on top of this. Never really noticed it. Weird detail for a place that you can't get to. Yeah. Anyway, I am over. Who am I with? I'm with Avens right now. Executioner, Stalker, Mad Cat. It looks like the heavies on FC. Being ready for that push over. Over the point, that is, to check out the things before. All right, we've got Gauss and Large on the Mad Cat. The Stalker is running just straight Large. XE is 5 ER Large. No micros or smalls. We're going full in for the trade here. It looks like Crusader with ER peeps, and then the rest with skirmishing weapons. What do we got over here on Mech Enjoyers?
A lot of ER larges and ER peeps on all the big boys. Carbon is already climbing up this mountain with his Corsair. Yeah, he's Goss and ER larges. Now I'm trying to see what's on the Skull Mesh. Or Skull Mesh. Skull. That's triple ERP. So yeah, they got a lot of range here. And it looks like they're sending their wolf pack. Their whole wolf pack is heading towards Theta right now.
Yeah, it looks like we got Carbon Fire up here in this trading sniping position, which I always find so suspect because it's just so far back. You're minimizing your damage. You can kind of get a glimpse, but a slow mech that goes there, I feel like it's a little nerfed and out of the battle for a significant amount of time. Looks like we're shaping up to have a little bit of a Theta fight here as Squishy moves in with the Spider. And we've got just a little out of range for names here. Bowser, Scrub Lord, and Salith also moving as the rest of ME starts to take the saddle, except for their three traders.
They definitely spotted Abin's mechs coming in towards Theta, and they decided that they're not taking that fight. All four of them are pulling out.
Yep, Bowser and the Phoenix Hawk holding that. Scrub Lord probably going to go take the cap, maybe not. We'll see. Nope, they are just going to go join the fold, having cut off Theta. While ME gathers at the other side of the hill. A little bit of a fake out there on ME, but those are the fast movers for Aben, so they'll be back in the fight in not too long.
With Carbon's Corsair holding that mountaintop so far back, I don't know. I think ME kind of needed Theta. They need the cap leads, the force Avens to come to them. Because as you...
great for receiving, but not so much for trading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Aben's just moving up. No one's taking the island, which is ultimately fine here. Chimera Lizzie just sort of pushing up to get range and corral ME to the saddle as much as they can. So we've got a little
Squishy's going for it again, but Selith is still here and he's just being sneaky. Yeah. He's just waiting for this once he sees these mechs to call his boys back for the fight. Alright, Squishy's almost at the cap now.
Yeah, looks like Squishy's going to get in on that, and there's a little, I don't think that's the 5K. That doesn't have the cap boost on it.
He's definitely going to get the cap.
But yeah, he's gonna get it, which is gonna add some pressure to Aben's, but they've got some time to respond. And they are starting to push up.
This is interesting.
To the saddle.
Which
side are you looking at?
I'm looking at here at Texan and Scout here, starting to bully the people on the center or on saddle. But Caliph and Bowser are about to join it. These guys are about to get pinchered and shot from two directions. This is not good.
Yep, Aben's just enveloping. I think we're gonna have Gil and who's getting shot out here. Gil and Squishy are gonna hold this end of the saddle maybe. Against Bowser and Salith, and everyone else is going to try to support them. Well, yeah, here it is. Ed Scout, Texan, and Rick Rob joining this push up in there. Now, Hydro Kyle in the skull. Going to get some back shots here, or some front shots. But yeah, having the top kind of all to himself outside the fight.
They managed to get Caliph.
Yep.
Now they're turning back around. It looks like they're focusing Texan. Oh, right. They got a good kill on Texan there.
Goes down as well. Yeah, and Mech Enjoyer is going to turn on Scout Derek next as Hydro comes in. So that is a couple of quick kills there.
All right, they managed to get him.
Carbon out of the fight. Yep,
now Lizzie Chimera is shooting into the fight now.
Yeah, they took some angles, but this is a fight where they just have a couple of angles here. They're shooting through pillars and the cracks in between. There goes Rick Rom. Squishy might be legged. Yep, Squishy is legged, taking some fire from the traders.
Hydra leading the push across saddle now. They're probably gonna go try to get these last two mechs, secure that, and secure the caps at the same time.
Yeah, I mean they've got the caps here, so really they're just trying to take out those fast movers, which is basically Bowser. MechWarrior 414 has has a little bit of speed in that XC, but it's not going to be nearly enough as this little bit of Wolfpack, Hydrokyle, Madcat, and Gil just get in and jump with a couple of blue lasers from Saddle. That was a CT from the back. Well done, Gil. A lot of focus fire on the back there, just dropping Mech Warrior quickly.
Well, Mech Warrior suicided. I think that was
something.
Overheat.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, okay. That was Overheat.
That makes sense. Fair enough.
I'm
sure
all
Gil contributed to heat sick loss. Fair enough. Yeah. So here we've got Lizzie and Chimera making a move for the island to counter Carbon Fire, still up there at 82% and not doing a whole lot, but there's Unfearing getting full damage burns from Lizzie and Chimera. Let's see how Unfearing's holding up. Little Toasty been burning that structure with an open shoulder. ME coming in to collapse on Chimera, a couple of Gauss shots coming from Carbon there. But really, with Avens even taking the island, I'm not sure where they're going to go here. They're probably just going to get Unfearing and make a stand at this point, because there's no way they're getting caps.
That's definitely what they have to be doing. I will say, Avens nearly closing the jaws on ME there on Saddle, and now it's turned around to where ME's closing the jaws on their last two mechs here on Island.
Yeah.
I will say ME pushing. Yeah, they got surrounded on Saddle, and they either stay there and die and be swarmed from all directions, or just pick a side and just give it your all. And that's what they did. They picked the right side, the one with only two mechs. They managed to kill, I think it was Selith in the Incubus. Lizzie's about to go down here. They did manage to get Unfearing.
That's the final. Yep.
But there at the Saddle, it was nice to watch. They dove Salith. Bowser pulled back because they caught Salith out before he could get away, and then they immediately turned around and then counter pushed the the other three that were coming up from Underpass.
Yeah,
very well executed.
Looking at some of the Mech 414 with 22 damage in the XE Salith, and Texan Scrublord also doing 30 damage. That's 3 mechs double D'ing. That is absolutely brutal. I'm curious. No. Yeah, right. I'm curious about Carbon. Carbon, for all that, pulling out 300 damage in that Corsair. Just so far out of the fight. Lizzie pulling 620.
So Mech Warrior, like I said, Mech Warrior 414 self-destructed. Alpha Whip Boom. Texan, he was at the moment, he had 5 mechs that all shot him at the same time. So once he reached Saddle and started in that fight, he almost immediately died. I got a good angle of it on my end.
Yeah, Emmy definitely on their game with that one and making that turnaround where they should have been pinched. That should have been it, but they stuck with it, got 2 really fast kills and moved on from there. All right. I'm going to move you guys over to the map room while I get these guys sorted out. We can take a look at that, and then move on to mining.
Yeah, so ME started with a very standard start where they put an assault up here, like an assault there, sort of thing. It's a very standard defensive, like, hey, we might get pushed sort of setup. Abins kind of did the same. They had their stuff set up there and whatnot. And it basically was a battle of whose wolf pack could play better, right? Initially, Abins was able to get Theta and kind of control this area here where they essentially are controlling the flow of the battle by holding Theta and denying it. At some point, I don't know if there was some miscommunication, whatnot, but part of the pack came from underneath the platform, and part of the pack went up here, right? And Emmy chose to just send it and just turbo dunk this one side. And I'm really happy and really proud for Emmy for being so
decisive with that.
Yes.
If they took,
very-
if they,
being
if they,
very decisive.
yeah, if they waited
were
even a
very-
couple more seconds, it could have gone completely
Yes.
opposite.
They were very decisive, and they're like, "We're gonna do this. Boom, this target. Boom." I mean, you look at those damage numbers. 3 of the Abins. I mean, I guess the Xy's not really a Wolfpack mech, but 2 of the Wolfpack mechs didn't even break 30 damage. Like, how does that happen? I don't even.
I think it was
I
the
don't
ME focus fire that
understand it.
they just turned
But
around
even
and said
still-
no more.
Yeah, you could say
I got you.
focus fire all day, but 30 damage. That's like multiple mechs getting backshot. What I think would happen, and even you could see because Bowser was running away. Like when that was happening, he was out and leaving. But mind you, they had 2 more mechs that were still pushing in here. So I think they had some sort of critical comms failure on what they're going to do in that situation. And with ME being very focused on we're going in, boom, 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 boom. I think Abins, the guys on the back, the Abins mechs on the backside here didn't want to be there and were trying to leave. And I think they got backshot.
Mm.
I think they backshot 2 of those mechs and they just turbo dunked them. And then they turned around and killed these ones. And it was just Mech Warrior, whatever the hell his name is, and Bowser. They're just doing their own thing. Like I feel like there was a critical issue that occurred, and Emmy was very organized and decisive, whereas Abins was not, and they took it. Just like how I said in the beginning, if they're on their A game, the other team's not, they 100% can take wins, and they very well proved they did.
I'm looking at the stream is up here. We're working on Team 2 timer at this point, so we should probably swap maps. Take a look at Mining Collective real quick and what these guys might do, but I'm going to see what happened here momentarily. I think. Oh, here I'll swap it up for you. Mining Collective. There we are.
Mining is one of the most interesting maps in comp for me because you can do like every strat on it.
That's true.
And I think both sides are very balanced. I know some people have their opinions that one side's stronger than the other. I think Team 2 might be slightly stronger just because of the lines you have on Theta, but both sides are very comparable. It's very balanced. There is an aspect of verticality in this map. There are routes that you can't take unless you have jump jets. So there's a lot of decisions that teams need to make when they bring a deck. Hey, we're going to bring this deck. Okay, but these mechs don't have jump jets. This changes how the map plays for you. Versus if you have jump jets, this is a much simpler map. No jump jets, it's not the same map,
Yeah.
I do think that in this map, verticality is king. So the team that's able to hold the high ground is going to tend to come out on top versus the teams that get stuck in the low ground. I do think Abins will have the advantage in this map just because of how flowy and how skirmishy they are. And Emmy being more of the sit back and trade with the rotating Wolfpack might be a disadvantage. However, Abins just lost. I don't know what happened with that Wolfpack, but an error occurred. They lost. Maybe they're tilted. Maybe something happened. They're upset. We just lost, blah, 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 blah. People get worked up. This is Emmy's time to really step it up and be like, all right, guys, focus up. Boom, we can get this. We'll get one more drop. I think Emmy has a good chance of taking this drop. Could definitely do it. Both teams are probably just going to kind of be sitting up and trading. You're going to have a trader there. I mean, it's just kind of like, there's not much to say. It's just kind of like you set up your traders and you're going to trade. You're going to have a wolf pack on different parts of the map, just bouncing around, skirmishing, pop-tarting, trying to make a little push for an assault. The enemy wolf pack is going to come back. It's going to be a little cat and mouse for a while. And then at some point, one of the teams is going to make a decision to let's go, and they're going to fight. And then we'll see that happens when it happens.
Speaking of letting that happen, I'm going to launch them right now because we got those teams ready to go. Circling back to what I saw on the stream, those lights just got, like, they pushed in. Looks like they got a bit aggressive. Bowser was with them there. And they just got turbo dunked, and Bowser was able to get away while the ME took those two out. I don't think it was back shots. I think it was just over aggression on the back.
23 and 30 damage.
Oh yeah, but they had 5 mechs focusing on them. I just watched, just 5 mechs turn around and blast 2 light mechs.
I'll have to go back and watch the VOD.
Yeah.
Or maybe the players themselves can comment.
Yeah, I think it was. I do agree. It was probably some miscoordination. I think they pushed too soon when the rest of the loop wasn't ready.
It was great decisiveness
mistimed.
me.
Yes. Yep. All right, here we go. They're coming in. I am on the Avon side. Let's see here. We've got the Incubus Mislinks over there. Not terribly interesting. We've got an Executioner, that Binary Mjolnir coming back, Hunchback 2C, with basically high alpha laser vomit, ER peeps. On the Exy, I'm sure the Crusader is probably ER peeps as well. Let's take a look. Oh, it's Bowser. It's probably lights, actually. Yep, light peeps for Bowser. And that's probably what we have to worry about. Oh, here's the Mad Cat, actually, which is Gauss and ER large as usual. I'm sorry, and Uziel. Hang on. Uziel is 4 light PPCs, 2 MRMs with that quirk. Interesting show. Did not expect it, but Scout Derek in that. All right, let's head on over to ME and see what's happening there.
ME is running a very similar deck to what they did on Vitric. Crusader, Snubs, Highlander 2C again. This Bounty Hunter is, I believe, ER larges? Or, yes, 6 ER larges. The Death Strikes ER large Gauss, SR Mislinks, and then the Shadow Cat, which I believe is, 2 heavy large lasers.
Yeah, and we got Bucks with his Highlander again. Bucks and Hydro seem to be trying to make some room over here with Scout Derek, and who's up here, and Chimera in the Mad Cat over here on the north side. But it looks like a lot of their concentration of Avens is on Theta, and ME is giving them most of their attention as Theta remains uncapped. Neither team taking that.
Oh, yeah, both teams have multiple crossfire angles on Theta. It'd be borderline suicide at this point for anything to take and make a play for it.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, something that happens a lot on this map is you get this north-south divide, right? This is not the case right here. We've got the east-west divide happening and the distribution for sort of a cap and hold. Avens with like, what, an 8-point?
Something like that. MechWarrior 414 just bullied the 2 mechs that were here on PAPS, the Echo 4 High Ground. So they pulled off and went north. So right now, they Abens now has control. Abens currently has control of this key.
Someone's shooting very, even for 414, but hitting me instead. A little high on that. 414 down to 88%, getting some of the focus from the backline traders from ME there. But you're right, he pushed that out, and now, Avens has exclusive control of the Echo 4 high ground here. Lizzie hopping up with the Executioner, and ME just getting pushed up to the north side of the map. Avens, look for Avens to take that south side, and ME is going to push this north. So here's that north-south divide that I was looking forward to. They really took their sweet time getting it, but here is an ME push coming in here on Scout Derek in the Uziel. I think Scout is going to be able to get away, but it is still most of a team versus 4 here as Avens pulls back under the Overwatch. Now we do have Chimera, who is not going to be able to get away, tucked in this little corner where we've seen so many mechs just sort of get a little bit of push into the corner of bullying. So expect that to happen here if they find him. And Squishy hopping up on this reactor here to get some shots in on Bowser, who is trying to get sneaky here against Hydro. Muted myself in Discord there accidentally. There we go. We're back. Yeah, some big hits on Bowser. Bowser taking some back shots. Unknown if he's missing some heat sinks, but Squishy just won't leave him alone. Squishy is just like, Bowser is mine to bully here. As Salith and Scrublord come to help him out on this flank. Now Chimera down to 55%, comes out of his hole, but loses an arm. That's real bad for that mech in his open CT. So Emmy continuing to put the squeeze on Avens. I haven't even bothered to check in on to Emmy. Back line here, we've got Bucks and the Highlander trading with those large pulse down to 73%. That's just general armor damage. Carbon Fire and the Marauder is open on the left torso as
Unfearing
Emmy pulls back.
Unfearing is basically damaged everywhere. He's been spreading it pretty good, and also getting some decent enough trades.
And there goes Chimera. They get that pick off of Avens, and they have pulled back with the cap point advantage. Emmy just looking for a little reposition. I think they realized that maybe they were getting a little aggressive. They probably could have stood to stick with it, but they're looking for the rest of the fight. Now we've got Bucks and Mad Cat over here. Salas sneaking around to sag Sigma. And Avens also getting Gamma at this point. So that's going to be a 4-on-1. Emmy pulling back, but giving Avens, a significant portion of map to work with. Again, that was one of their mistakes early on, and they're going to push this one mech that's over here, which is Scout Derek, probably going to get away. They need a wrap around here. Yeah, that looks like what they're doing. They're sending 2 after the Uziel, and the rest are trying to find Avens' team here. But they're slowing down. Their momentum has slowed.
Target spotted.
And I don't know how that's going to work out for them. They're taking Sigma. At this point, almost 500 points here for Avens with that 4 cap for a little bit. That is punishing. That's a punishing amount of pressure. Emmy needs to move. And Unfearing's ready to go. Bucks is a little messed up. Carbon Fire.
Bucks is about to get picked here. He's caught out.
Over to the Bucks fight.
Oh, he's caught out. Yeah, he's being picked right now.
Oh yeah, the rest of the team coming back to support Bucks. I don't know that there's much that they can do, but they have yet again consolidated their position into one spot.
They had no way to save him unless they could see the future.
Yep, good pick by Avens. Absolutely. Well, Bucks looks like he overextended a bit too, without any support. But here we are. Avens now in the open. Emmy gathered. Probably going to push on them, but Avens has the advantage here.
Now, Emmy is running,
survivability.
like, when they shift, they're shifting really good as a team. But I think they just got over here too late. Once Bucks was dead, we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, Squishy over here in the Phoenix Hawk scouting out Mech Warrior 414. No, I don't think he knows he's there. He's going to take some shots from across the map. 414 in a very precarious situation here if they find him. He's just tucked in, hoping not to be found. Squishy knows he's there. Okay.
Oh no, Squishy's about to lose his legs.
Paying for that.
Oh man, he
like 30%. Ooh. Yeah, Salith coming around for the rest of the pick with Batchel there on top. I don't know if that's gonna work out, but here we've got the fight over Theta. We've got Lizzie and Scrublord, Bowser, Mech Warrior coming out to focus down Mad Cat and the Viper, Hydro Kyle in that Crusader. Carbon Fire, who's already pretty messed up. That'll be a quick thing. Squishy now legged in the Phoenix Hawk. Hydro Kyle also legged. This is a leg fight. Avens focusing it down. 414 going down to Hydro Kyle. Lizzie going down. Emmy putting out the hurt here despite being damaged, making sure their weapons count. Scrublord, Call Me Gil, and Squishy all go down in the next 2 seconds. Slight advantage to Mech Enjoyers. At this point, Salith in that Incubus, still very healthy, could be working on caps, and in fact is. That is a 4-1 cap. Very late in the game, Emmy needs those caps. They have like 10 seconds to get them. I don't think they're going to do it. This is going to be Avens on caps here. As that push happens, Emmy with that push, that want to kill mentality, but unfortunately losing.
They waited too long to push.
Caps again. Waited just a little too long. Yeah, and there it is in another 2 seconds. Oh, Bowser going down though. They're getting those kills.
Maybe when Bucks was being dove, they should have just full sent it across the top. I'm not sure. We'll let our expert will be able to tell us. But
yeah, that's my theory is that Wolfpack did a lot of traversing back and forth, and that was very detrimental to anything that they were trying to do. That's one of the things that I noticed. But yeah, again, we'll turn it over.
Oh,
Quick scores going down the list.
before you get to that, viewers on
Yeah.
MWO Leagues 2, I tried to do more first-person cameras on this strap. Let me know if you enjoyed it, or if you want more or less. Comment. All right, take it away.
Yeah. So that and actually that's gonna wrap us for this one. Aben's taking 3. Let's see, who are outstanding? 637 for Lizzie and that executioner, just doing some work. Then 2 500s, Unfearing and Squishy. Squishy, that Phoenix Hawk, just pounding into Bowser there for a while, making good use of his positioning and mobility. But ultimately, not enough to overcome the caps of Aben's. Aben's making those big brain plays. All right, going to send us over to the maps for our debrief. And over to you, Bacon.
Hey, so that was a good match. I really felt that was in enemy's favor again. I just feel like some of the same issues may have occurred, kind of like from the first drop. I feel like getting that Mad Cap was big, and then they took the 3 cap. So they got the Mad Cap, and they had the 3 cap, and they backed off. And they're like, hey, we have the 3 cap. Let's just chill. Let's chill on our 3 cap. And that's all they had to do. I'm not sure why this big push happened here when there was like an Uziel. There was an Uziel here, right? Like that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know why.
Well, there was
a
more.
massive push for an Uziel. Well, a mislinks.
Yeah, there were a couple hanging over here in this Delta 5, Delta 6 that they didn't know. I think they were in the late push or the first push, because there were kind of like two pushes.
Second push.
Oh yeah, the second push was weird, and that got their basically their wolf pack over here after that Uziel, while Bucks copped it over here in Echo 4.
Well, Bucks was already there. Split. They just rotated too far away, and when there was nothing over there for them to rotate. So you send 4 or 5 mechs up in this area for 1. So what's going to happen? The natural reaction is you do this.
Yep.
And something else that occurred is, I'm not sure if it's Selith or Salith, but that pilot had one focus in all these matches tonight, and that was ensuring the team wins the matches. I don't mean killing mechs. I mean, I'm going to get Etsy. I'm going to get Gamma. Literally was capping everything.
And somehow being in the fight. Like absolute prime pilot there. 100%.
Yeah, very, very good plays from someone to focus on, my job is a cap mech. I need to cap and then come back and fight. But they had, even if they would have lost the fight, which, I mean, they basically did lose the fight. Emmy did, or Adams did really kind of lose that fight there. But they had the better game sense to keep the caps under control. I still think that the first push up top here was good, and they knew that there was nothing more to be had from it, and backed off and reset, and they took the 3 cap. That was great. The second push to get the Belial, I don't know what that was. I don't know if maybe they're just trying to get Sigma. If they were trying to do like this and switch to holding Kappa Theta Sigma, I'm not really sure. It seemed a little weird to send that many mechs out. I would have just, if it was me and we had gotten that free pick, I would have just done this, split the map, and just kind of post up, kind of standard, and just skirmish, run the time.
Yeah. I got nothing to add to that. That's pretty textbook.
Yep, pretty textbook. But I think both teams played really, really well. Abbots did a good job of bringing it back. Emmy definitely showing that they are most certainly an up-and-coming team. And you should definitely take them seriously. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more matches from ME. We might see these two teams play again. It's possible.
So I just saw the footage of the match. Bucks, when the whole team was still here, before the second push, still skirmishing, Bucks was on the corner here, and as the whole team shifted this way, he didn't. He stayed here on the corner. And by the time the whole team was pushing here, is when he started to move, and then he fell down.
A little slow, delayed.
Yeah, he fell down, and I lost track of him. I don't know if he tried to jump jet up and failed, and then tried to walk up, and then that's when he got caught out. But that's how he got out of position. It looks like he missed the timing on shifting.
Wait a minute, something's wrong here.
What'd you do?
I have no.
A little bit of a side note here for anybody watching who may not play comp play. Comp play in MechWarrior is for everybody.
Oh, it absolutely
And
is.
in a sense that there are divisions with all new players. So you can play in a division with no experience and still play comp and still get rewards. You could get better and move up a division and decide you like it a lot and go move up, and before you know it, you're playing division A and B.
100%.
I would encourage everybody who even just at the basic level, I like playing MechWarrior. You should try playing comp. Genuinely, give it a shot for one season, because everyone who I've known who's not played comp that has tried it, even just going to scrims, they're just like, oh my god, this is so fun. And then they play QP and I get messaged, like, QP is
Yep.
boring, QP's lame, like, this is stupid. I would really highly encourage everybody to join the MWO comp server, Discord server. I would encourage you to, find a team, to, set aside 2 evenings a night to, like, make a scrim or to make a match, and to at least attempt it. It really is for everyone. There's good rewards. There's no entry fees or anything, and it's definitely, it's worth it. It's fun.
Yeah, honestly, best game mode, quite frankly, and it's
By far.
year round.
Yeah.
It's like everything you wish quick play could be. Like faction has the teamwork, quick play has reasonable time limits and all that kind of stuff, and mash the two together and add some kick-ass rewards, and you end up with comp. It is the best of both worlds.
Oh, dude, comp is, once you get the bug right, once you've had your first comp win, you'll be fucking hooked. Like,
Yep.
hands down. It's if you've never played, like, I don't know, Pee-wee or high school sports or in a community cricket league or something, right? Try some MWO comp. The camaraderie, the competition, and it's, I can sit here all day to explain, just list off all the good things about it. But yeah, as has already been said to death, absolutely give comp a try. No matter what, even no matter, even if it goes bad, you'll enjoy yourself. Especially if you're on a team of like-minded guys around your skill level, because you guys will grow together, you'll win together, you'll lose together, and it'll build friendships that last forever.
Yeah. And Bacon, looks like Dyer isn't going to be able to join us, so you're on for the next one.
Cool.
We're just waiting on the map ban. For folks to get into lobby. Invites are out at this point.
So I have an honest question for,
Of course,
both of you. What's for lunch?
Dude,
oh
dude,
God,
why'd
I've
you
been
have to
at
say
this
that?
for
Can we
5
talk
hours
about
now?
food for a
My
couple
stomach's
minutes here?
my stomach's been growling for like the last hour.
I don't
will-
know if I'm gonna have the wherewithal to cook tonight, so it may just be make
Chinese
myself some
takeout?
sandwiches and off we go.
So General So's.
General Tso's out here is inferior for some reason. Like the New England area General Tso's is just weird.
Um,
Oh, side note, I did have something. Sorry, complete.
Oh yeah, back we
derailment.
go.
We were talking about mining before, and I said that in my mind, I feel like both teams are kind of similar, balanced. I noticed that somebody in chat had said that one of the team sides has a higher win percentage rate.
yeah, Team
And
2, I think it's 45-55, is what I was told.
It's like 8% or something. Is that because there is a genuine advantage, or is that because there is a bias that one side is better, and so the better teams are picking the side that they perceive as better, and they're going to win because they're the better team?
So
Yeah.
the stats, as I understand it, are from Quick Play, right?
Okay.
So And my
That means
theory,
absolutely nothing to me then.
yeah,
Good.
I was just gonna say, from what I
Any
understand,
caution?
is the reason why I think in quick play, Team Two is biased is straight up the Theta sightline, because any assault pilots in quick play, anyone who's even half experienced knows that like, oh, the enemy team, especially their least skilled pilots, are just going to straight YOLO to Theta, right? And once these lights are up here, that's free damage. Because almost every quick play game, like if you pay attention, someone with a long range mech, right? Because they don't want to do the rotation, is going to camp here, farm Theta until this push comes through here, and then they're going to farm down here while the rest of the team is pushing across Theta into them. Because as we all know, this is the Team 2 usually pushes up this way, either comes up Theta or wraps around. Team 1 usually does the same, and then you'll take 2 laps around Theta before the end of the match. I mean, that's what 90% of this in quick play, correct? Oh, it'd probably help if I had the map up.
Yep. So
Maybe.
who's our next match?
Our next match is Clan Crossfire versus Equilibrium.
Okay, EQ versus CXF.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a strong expectation for EQ to win. I think CXF taking a single drop would be an upset in my mind. I don't think it's beyond them. I think they could do it, but them taking a drop could be an upset. I don't expect to see anything weird or funny out of EQ. I expect them to just kind of play what's safe, or what's just going to end the matches. There's no need to like bring out unique strategies or interesting strats. I would kind of expect to see just very standard gameplay from EQ. The interesting strats we would probably see are going to come from CXF, because they're the ones that need to do something different to take a win.
Yeah. Now, for those out of the loop, CXF had a rough year last year in comp. It's nice seeing them back in the worlds.
100%.
For those who didn't know, last year they fought in their time zone, Oceanic. They fought against a lot of Oceanic teams, and then when those Oceanic teams dried up, they came over to NA, which has been slugging it out for weeks. And CXF kind of had they kind of had an easy time. So when they came in, the strategies and everything, they weren't fully prepared. It hurt them a lot. I think one night they lost like 150 elo, almost 200 elo. It was pretty bad. So seeing them get back together, get their team back together and kicking ass this year has been great to watch. I don't see Knives though. CXF knows I have a deep resentment against him. Cost me a comp match years ago, and I've been bitterly holding it against him since. Because this stupid commando.
Just to give a heads up, we are moving forward with the map selection at this point. So far, we've got Vitric mining Polar in that order, and then Hibernal.
So just because I'm curious, like I like to know who picked what map and what side, because there's a lot of strategy in that. Is there?
Yeah, here. Yeah. Let me drop you a message real quick. It'll show who selected what map. Sides are just moving at this point, so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get you there. But link to that. So far, this will be Crossfire choosing Team 1 on Vitric. That'll be and then swapping sides for Miner. It's just moving so fast. So Crossfire chose that. Mining would be Equilibrium choosing side 2. Polar Highlands would be Crossfire choosing side 1. Hibernal, Equilibrium choosing side 2.
Yeah, so I feel like the first pick of Vitric is a very safe pick, because either side doesn't really matter. The second pick is kind of the more interesting one, because that's the pick that's kind of not a safe pick. and CXF chose to pick mining. EQ's was third up. They picked Polar. It's an interesting third pick. To take a big map like that, it's probably a safer pick for them to have full control and maximum range. CXF picked another small map. Let's see, what about the sides?
I just tossed you a link that'll show you who picked what. I found a log file thing.
Oh, got it. Yeah. I'm looking at the log right now.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Yeah. So CXF picked Team 2 on Vitric. I don't think that really matters so much. EQ preferred Team 2 on Mining, which is again the side that the 8% people think that. I think GRAM thinks Team 2 is better on Mining. I think he does have a preference on those. You have to ask him. CXF preferred Team 1 on Polar. EQ picked Team 2 on Hibernal. Is that the side that has the top you can go up? It is, isn't it?
Let's see. I think these end up all being North American. Let me see here. Home servers. Teams with EU server presence versus AP, which is not the case because I think our card. Sorry, I gotta figure this one out as we go. Checking here. All right, so I think we were NA versus AP. Does it say?
NA,
it does not say. It is. Yeah. So actually, we're gonna need to switch servers for this. All right, whose team? Team 1 actually is Equilibrium, so it's going to be North American to start.
Oh, we have to play on the EU server or the AU servers?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now, I gushed about CXF a little bit, and it feels only fair to point out EQ and GRAM's team formed at the very beginning of the year, with the absolute goal to win Worlds, and he has picked up a hell of a beefy roster this year. Just from all over the place. Ghosty used to be, I think, 5J, Basalt. He played for DPS, but he played for someone else, I think, temporarily before he went to EQ. Then you got Magic Painglove, Classic Vet. Then you got Chicken Man, who's been, when it comes to Zoomers, he's probably been one of the highest, like, quickest growing pilots, skill-wise. Because now he's here at the top. He started out in Div D or C with Fjord, if I remember correctly.
All right. Sorry. I'm back with, I think I've got everything sorted here. We should be good to go. Correct servers, correct map. Starting timers. Now, our first map is going to be Vitric Station. I should have called up in the map room at this point. If we want to talk about these, EQ is Team 1. If that helps.
I mean, I would imagine EQ is going to play this pretty default. They're probably going to have a lot of bracket builds. If you don't know what a bracket build is, it's basically a mech that has weapons for 2 different ranges, or 2 different brackets. For example, PPCs and small lasers. ER large and small lasers. Machine guns and heavy large lasers. Those are like bracket builds where you can brawl and you can trade. I would imagine they kind of play it safe like that. CXF, I don't know if they can outtrade them. I think that their best bet is probably going to be to hold W. And they've done this a couple different ways. They've done the push along the bottom and then jump up. And they've done the push across the top. So it just comes down to, I think, execution and mistakes. And it's going to be curious to see if there's anything different or interesting that's brought other than, like, the safe pick and the expected push.
All right, Team 1 is locked. Moving on to Team 2. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say about Vitric. So
It's Vitric, man. It's very
yeah.
Vitric against. Yeah, no, it's just it is what it is.
So back to
You
what's
can only
for lunch.
talk about it so many times.
I know. Believe me, I know. I'm really glad to have some extra perspectives on it, honestly, coming through because I've said my piece like 8 times by now.
I will point this out. Here's something we haven't said about Vitric yet. Almost every like map drawing we've ever done on this map about like pathing and stuff is very phallic. You know what I mean? Like what strategy isn't phallic on this map?
I mean, in case you didn't know, it looks something like this for those on the stream.
There's no getting around it.
You know, I have held out, all right, to refrain my pure religious mind of just staying with my based circles, you know. Mechs are gonna go like this, you know, they're gonna come up, they're gonna be positioned here, you know, based circles, they're gonna come this way. And you guys are like, everyone's like, oh look, they're gonna come up the ramp and they're gonna do this. Wow.
Maybe they'll send someone to Theta with jump jets. That's just
maybe
gonna
they
like
send
jump
one
up the
mech
middle
over here
there.
to Gamma, and they're gonna send one mech over here to Epsi, right?
All right, that's our like 2 minutes before we get rated R. Both teams are locked as we succumb to 6-hour stream brain. So I'm gonna go ahead and
it's okay. Windscape
these
will be
guys
proud. Windscape
Yeah.
sitting there going, yeah.
Oh boy, here we go. Final matchup of the week of this round, actually. And we kick it off with Vitric. I wonder what kind of like little bit of map I can find before these guys hop in.
So if you fly behind Sigma Kappa, there's like floating boxes with seats you can sit in.
Wait, really? Hang on.
Yeah, if you fly towards the red ships, you'll see it flying up in the air. To the right, you see it? On horizon level. It's gray.
Oh, I see. I do see them.
Yeah, you can go inside them.
As I get. Oh, that's fun. Cool. All right, back to the fight. I'm over here on Equilibrium side, because I'm not going all the way over there. So I've got Viper Mistling's Shadowcat over here. The Crusader. What are we running on that? Some ERPPCs on the Crusader. We've got a Highlander 2C9 there in that, which we saw Bucks in on the last matchup. So that brawl there, probably going to hold center. Hag 40 large pulse, ER medium, Marauder from Ghosty. I'm going to turn up the volume here. It seems a little low. And the Mad Cat. That's the other thing I need to look at. Hags, large pulse, and medium lasers on that one. Stimrog doing the high flying scouting over here on Equilibrium. I'll pass it over to you, Level, for what's Crossfire up to.
They got a Stalker 7D, an Annie 2A. The Annie is rotaries and AC5s. Some backup lasers.
Rotaries, interesting.
Yeah. Yorshka's in a ERP Executioner. Nikro's in a Bushwhacker with snubs. I think snubs, SRMs, and a little grab bag of all kinds of goodies. Captain Cat here in the Lanner, your classic knife fighting Lanner. The only thing that might be interesting here, let me look at. Oh yeah, instead of running like a light peep or a snub Firestarter, they get all SPL. So this deck feels very pushy.
Yep. So we're getting ready for. I'll check the bushy here in a second, but it looks like Crossfire is getting ready for a push. We've
SRMs.
got snub SRMs and heavy machine guns on the Bushwhacker.
A lot of DPS, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, so Crossfire is getting ready for the push over the top and the ramp. They are set up here. Polycat with the Viper. Here they go. Polycat gonna get some side shots here as Pete Zone comes up. It's unfortunate that there wasn't something pinpoint because Pete Zone probably could have deleted half a Polycat right there, but is instead focusing on Chicken Man. A good choice of first shots. One of the very strong shooter from EQ, open CT. so fast. G-Ram in the Crusader down here taking some damage. Down below is Legged and CTs as Crossfire is pushing across, putting out a lot of damage on Equilibrium already. Let's see, I've lost a little track. Captain Cat in the Black Lantern going down. I totally missed that fight. We got Compulsive Flag Eater going after Chicken Man, getting the pick. Is
Ghosty DC?
Ghosty DC'd. Oh God,
no.
what a day. So they are leaving that. Nyandare in the little cubby getting focused. Simrog trying to push the other mislinks around with mild success. Squeebs coming in to try to do some saving. Nyandare at 52%, very red there. Halved an open CT. Back on this fight, Crossfire is still trying to fight down with Duvix here. G-Ram finally gaining the top and just laying into Pete Zone, who is down below. Nyandare finally goes down. Stimrog getting some shots up here, but Squeebs returning fire with some of those binary lasers. Stimrog now maybe legged. Yes, absolutely legged and open, ready to go. We're leaving Ghosty alone. Never mind, Compulsive Clag Eater is sending some non-clag weapons